Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch another kind of gloomy, cold autumn day, getting towards the end of hunting season, which brings me up to answering a question that I'm really surprised at people over the last week. I guess I've just always grown up in this lifestyle. It just has become just assume that people know this stuff. But a lot of people have been really concerned and wondering why I'm wearing this hideous orange clothing this week occasionally especially when I'm out in the woods. Like it's so tacky. Why are you wearing that? It doesn't look good on you. It glows in the camera. Why are you wearing those awful looking clothes? This is standard for when you're hunting or just really out in the woods during deer season. I don't know if there's any state that doesn't have laws that requires you to wear hunter orange. If there are, please let me know. Even if the state didn't have a law, I would still wear it because there's so many hunters out in the woods and they're not all the best, okay? I'm not poo-pooing hunters, but some of them just, they may be drinking or they're not the best shots. And I have been shot at during hunting season. Actually had a bullet whiz by me, could hear it whistling by. And I've had a couple of people that I know that's been shot during deer season. So when I'm out in the woods, whether I'm hunting or not, during deer season, especially if I'm off the property, but even if I'm on the edges of our property, I still wear it because, we have so much open land and stuff around us. So that's why it's hunter orange, called that for a reason. You wear it when you're out in the woods during hunting season. Hunting season ends here in a couple of days, and I'll probably go back to wearing my normal drab greens and browns, okay? So don't worry about it. Sitting here thinking this week, Thanksgiving's coming up this week. Most of you probably celebrate Thanksgiving. I know that some of you don't, and that's whatever you do, that's fine with me. That's not the point. But just thinking about, what I'm thankful for personally. I've already been thinking about that. It's been a good year and a rough year all at the same time. And I'm not going to go into the personal details of that. But I'd say that most of you probably would say something similar to that it's, there's been good and there's been bad. But isn't that every year? I mean, I can't think of any year of my life that I could say it's only been great. It's only been wonderful things. There's ups and downs, and that's just how life is. But even as bad as things are in the world, maybe in your life, maybe in your circle, I know that there's things that we can still find to be thankful for. I was talking to my wife just the other day along this line of how we can always find things in our lives to be sad about, to complain about. There's always something, right? Yeah, you can. No one's life is perfect, is it? But you can always also think about that probably other people have worse things going on. As much as I want to complain about, if my truck doesn't work or if I got to fix a refrigerator, which I have to order a part for the refrigerator this week. One of them, our backup, our extra refrigerator, one of our extra refrigerators, it went out and I got to fix it. Just things like that. Maybe there's been a death, maybe, something tragic in your life. There's always something, right? But when you look at the rest of the world, there's also a lot worse things going on. There's almost always is. So I think that we can always find things to be thankful for. And even in the struggle that we are in the midst of, there's still good things that are happening. There's still good people. We're watching, much like what's spoken of in the Bible, the kind of that separation of the wheat and the tares, the separation of that remnant and those that will fall away. And the people that are the good people, and I mean that in a very real sense, the people that have been called to be set apart, all that kind of stuff, they're kind of coming together, and I see us strengthening a greater bond. Families that are kind of solid, I see them kind of coming close together. I've even seen examples over the last few months of marriages that were struggling and had problems. And because of everything that's going on, they've been able to actually grow closer together. So there is good things that are happening out there. And of course, there's certainly examples of all the bad things going on. In individual lives and communities and stuff. There's always strife. There's always problems. And when speaking of kind of your circle, with everything that's going on, we need to make sure that the people that we're surrounding ourselves with are people that we can trust. People that are loyal, not to just each other, but loyal to what we're doing. You know, here in our local community, of course, I mean, this isn't a bragging thing, but I'm kind of the group leader, I guess you could say. I don't like to be looked upon as that. In fact, people in our community, our group, they tease me about it. They're like, "Oh, fearless leader." I'm like, stop. You know, that's not what I want to be looked at. But the point is I'm trying to do the thing, right? Get the people ready, and it's working and it's happening. And in our group, when we talk about loyalty, I'm not talking about loyalty to me. You know, if you have a mag group or anything like that, or even if you're just the head of the household, you know, you're the husband and you're getting your family ready. It's not about loyalty to you. It's not about loyalty to your group, to the mag leader. It's about loyalty to what you're doing, loyalty to the Father, and loyalty to the cause of setting ourselves apart from the rest of the world and preparing ourselves for the doom and gloom that's coming at us. And there's going to be those that they speak the words really clearly that they want to be involved, and they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. They talk like they have all of this, and maybe they do. Maybe they have a lot of great experience and skills and abilities that would just be amazing for your group, right? But their heart's not there. And if their heart's not there when the times start to get tough, they're not going to be there. And it's not just that they won't be there. There's always this risk of them turning against you. If they're not 100% in it, if they're not loyal to the group and loyal to the cause of what you're doing, when things get tough and they're offered an option, will they rat you out? Will they turn against you? I don't know. It's possible. And, you know, the things that we're doing, that you and I are doing, they're not wrong. They're not criminal. They're not illegal. They're not bad. They're not wrong, you know, any of that kind of stuff. But as the world becomes worse and as these evil powers become more and more powerful, folks like you and I, and I'm not just speaking of preppers, I'm talking about spiritually like you and I, we're going to become more and more the enemy, in the crosshairs. And it's going to be more and more of a risk to believe the way we do and to live the way we do, to raise our children the way that we do. And it's not so much that we're trying to start a revolution or anything like that, because honestly, that's not in my intentions at all. It's not even on my radar or on my to-do list. For me, it's just circling the wagons and getting as many people in our community and many other communities just ready, right? That's the goal. We're not trying to change things. We're just trying to kind of step aside and protect ourselves. But even at that, we're going to be considered the bad guys at some point, if not already. And it's not because we're doing anything bad, because most of us aren't. It's not like the Hollywood movies where the preppers are the crazy guys and stuff. Most of us are pretty good, decent people and have no intentions or desires whatsoever to do anything illegal, criminal, or anything. But because we are going against the grain, because we are not part of the status quo and not toe in the line, well, we're going to be in the crosshairs at some point. And so it becomes more and more important to surround yourselves with people that are loyal to what you're doing. And that sometimes the people that are loyal to what you're doing aren't always the people that you always want around you. If we could hand pick our friends of what we think we need versus of what's actually necessary, those are usually two different things. I think most of us could probably look through our lives and see the people that we have come in contact with and we thought, oh, this would be a great friend. This is a good person. I want to be buddies with them. I want to hang out with them. And then come to find out they're not as good as you thought they were. So sometimes the people that are loyal to what you're doing, they're not always the people that you like the most. We have differences. We don't agree all the time. But honestly, that doesn't matter. It's that, can we get along to do the right things, to get the things that need to be done. And so I'm thankful, kind of circling back, I'm thankful that with all the hardships that's going on in the world and the way things are getting darker and gloomier, that there are good people out there that are coming together. And it's not just here, it's all over. Last night in the live stream, there was someone over on the Rumble. I live stream on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter all at the same time. And over on the Rumble side, there was someone talking in the chat that lived up in Canada, kind of out in the, rural parts of, rustic Canada. And they were saying that they started a community up there. And now it's just growing, that there's a couple of hundred people involved in it. There's this kind of off-grid prepper, getting themselves ready. That's amazing. That's awesome. My wife was talking to someone this past week that, excuse me, they've come to some of our meetings, but they live a pretty good distance away, and they've started a little group in their own community. And they have monthly meetings, and they do things to get themselves prepared, and it's growing big. Like, it's more than just a couple of families. It's a pretty good size. We hear this all over. And so I'm thankful that even though things are bad, it's bringing good people together. And maybe that's part of the purpose. Maybe it is. And a lot of times those good people aren't always the ones that we envision, The people that walk into a group that has all of this resume that looks amazing, they're not always the ones that fit. Sometimes the people that are, you don't notice as much are the better ones, the ones that are loyal. And so I'm thankful to see that starting to happen. I'm thankful that as bad as things are, that good people are coming together and good people are starting to do good things. And so if this message does anything today, I want it to encourage you folks that are doing that. And the ones that aren't, that have the desire to do that, keep doing it, keep trying. There are more and more people coming together. I still get people email me asking if I know of anyone in a certain area. Sometimes I'm able to make connections. A lot of times not so much, because it's a big country, and sometimes I just don't know of anyone in their area. But if I do, I will certainly try to make the connection. There's also other means. There's several of these YouTube channels have certain websites and chat groups and things that you can join. Viking Preparedness does it on his Patreon channel. I'm not sure if he does it anymore. I think Bear Independent had some type of off YouTube group chat thing. We do it too. We have a tphnetwork.com. It's a website, tphnetwork.com. And it's just it's a social media type of site. It's kind of similar to Facebook, but I own it. So it's a free speech platform. It's not part of any of the big, censorship. So, and you can just post whatever on there as long as it's kind of family friendly. And there's a lot of people on there that are like, hey, I'm in such and such part of Ohio. Is there anyone around here? And then maybe someone gets on and says, yeah, me too. That kind of stuff. So there are other options. There's other prepper type groups that you can find online that maybe you can make connections with. But always you can just start your own thing, find a little place to meet. Maybe it's a park pavilion. Maybe it's a library room, or, something that you can meet, a little private dining room at a local little diner, and then start putting up flyers everywhere, just word of mouth. Go to the local feed store, go to the sporting goods store, any place like that, your church, wherever, and start spreading the word. And you'd be surprised who shows up. We got to start doing this stuff more and more. It doesn't completely insulate us from danger. I see the negativity a lot. Oh, just because you have a community doesn't mean that they're not going to touch you. Of course not. No one thinks that. No one thinks that just because you have a community of like-minded, loyal, dedicated people, that nothing bad's going to happen to us. But when those bad things happen, it's going to make it easier. It's going to make it better because there's more of us. There's strength and unity in us. And so we have to be working towards that. Folks, you need to be getting your houses in order, preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, and not worrying about the naysayers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.